Stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everybody. Do I have a motion to open the town board meeting December 11th, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Gonna make a quick change on the public hearings, and I'll explain it. Two's gonna go first, which is the introductory law number 9 of 2025, entitled "The Local Law Enacting a Temporary Moratorium on the Battery Energy Storage System." Today, the town received a new study and technical information regarding BES fire behavior that the town board and planning board must review the proceedings. Because the material was not previously available, and because the purpose of the moratorium is to base decisions on complete and accurate information, I will be adjourning tonight's public hearing, and it will be continued on December 22nd. This will allow the board new information and the public to has the benefit of a full record. So, Alex, good night.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is the public hearing for IWS Transfer Station in New York, including the draft environmental impact statement, solid waste management permit, and application. Could I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is open. Public will be heard.
We're gonna have a presentation from Kristen first.
So I'm Kristen Thordoff from Cornerstone Environmental Group. IWS is before the town board to get an AED permit. We've submitted DEIS, and we're here today to get your comments on the DEIS. After today's public hearing, we will have a 10-day open public comment period where you can submit written comments. So that's what we're here. The purpose of the application is to, for IWS to accept 670 tons of solid waste, MSW and C&D material at their facility located on Hartley Road. So, I don't know.
So is it straight 670, or is it 600 plus 70 recyclable?
670 tons of C&D and MSW. We are requesting the DEC to transfer the 70 tons of recyclables into solid waste, which would be MSW and C&D.
Right, but you
Yes,
need that
the-
on the permit too. You need that on the permit.
Correct.
I know I made it quite clear when you started this process, this is me, that I was adamant about getting 600 tons. If you would get the permit at 600 tons plus 70, but I know I was ignored. And this is where we are. Continue to go ahead with 670 tons. And I know I made it crystal clear, I can pull 10 sets of minutes out there. So anyway, I'm just making a statement so everybody's
Yeah,
on
gotcha.
board, on the same page as me.
Yes, I remember Phil saying that quite clearly. However,
Yeah.
in Sean's document that he sent to us, and I believe Mr. Channing,
Yeah.
document basically said something like the DEC granted you 670 of solid waste. That's not the case. It's an application.
It's an application.
Yeah.
We're still at the, we are working with the DEC. We have not gotten any comments.
Right.
I see.
So,
Okay.
still pending.
Okay.
Anything, Melissa? I do have one item, 2.5 on the DEIS. Paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4 says social considerations. You have the town of Goshen to pay the agreement with the town of Goshen to pay the town 10 cents per ton. That's actually $1 per ton. That's our new agreement.
That I'd have,
What's that?
we'd have to check that. I mean, that,
I have a copy of the agreement.
okay, that's what it is, that's what it is.
And you know, up to $65,000, not 20,000. Just clarifying it, that's all.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Public, would you like to speak on behalf?
Here.
Raise your hand.
Nobody wants to go first?
Neil Halloran will go first.
My name's Neil Halloran. I'm a resident of Town of Goshen. I'm not sure, I'm going to go backwards a little bit on or on this property. It wasn't IWS at the time, but I'm not sure if many of you remember back when Altori was still functioning as a landfill. There used to be gates at the back of this property where they would just run the materials through IWS, or this property, it's not IWS, again, not IWS. Used to run this property through, garbage through there, and dump it at the landfill after hours. I'm sure some of you probably remember that, but that's what was happening then. Then when they came in for that building that they have now, where they tipped us up, during Honey Bernstein's administration, it actually made a great difference in what was happening. We used to have a lot more complaints about garbage blowing over the fence, going into the trees, going on adjacent properties. We even had complaints about noise from the vehicles backing up and everything else. So I think we have made a lot of progress on this site. And I think that this proposal is going to take progress forward even more. That being said, I still think there's some concerns. Adding doors, I think adding doors to this building and putting a roof on more of the parking area or the pavement, I think is a positive thing. I think you're going to have less leachate, less stormwater running across the pavement. So I think that's going to be pretty good. However, there's still a problem with expanding the use onto the neighbor's property. We have a thing that says you're not allowed to expand the solid waste beyond what's already in existence. They're proposing to expand that. Now, if we go backwards on that, again, there's a history here. One of the problems was way back when they were doing the original building. It was actually determined by the attorney of the town at that point in time that that was a pre-existing non-conforming use. And as long as that continued and they maintained their permit, that probably would have continued. However, when they walked away from their permit, and it was probably prior to IWS, it was probably by the waste management or whoever was in there before, they walked away, did not continue their permit, and therefore that lapsed, and it was probably could no longer under our code be considered a pre-existing non-conforming use. That's a problem for us at this point in time because I don't believe that the town board or any board in the town can approve a use that's contrary to our laws. And you have a law there, so I don't think you can get around that. There's also a problem that they have, if you look online, there are some, in the last several quarters, they're having leachate or stormwater violations that are violations of the Clean Water Act. It's not being done by us, it's being done by, I believe, the EPA. They're responsible for reporting that to you, and I don't know that it's ever been reported to you that they have these violations. So 2 out of the last 3, they have these violations. The last period is not considered a violation yet because it's been undetermined yet. It's not that they're saying it's good, it's that they're saying it has not been determined what the violations are, if there are violations on that. I think in the approvals for this, I think somehow the town board has to ensure that the fact that these standards are met. Some of the violations were 7 times what's allowed to be running off. These are all clean water stuff that's running off the property, going onto neighbor's property, or going into the Wallkill River. Why is that significant to us? It's significant to us because the Village of Goshen and Town of Wallkill and many other municipalities downstream take our drinking water from there, where it's probably being impacted or possibly even impacted. We also know that this is an aquifer there, and we have a problem with the aquifer. You put this stuff that goes into the ground, into the aquifer, sooner or later, it's probably going to show up in our water. We certainly don't want to drink it here at the town hall. We don't want the people in the village to be drinking that water if it's in fact being contaminated. And as long as they continue that, it's going to add to the situation. This is not to say that IWS is the sole source of the pollution in the Wallkill River or in that water. However, yeah, you can kill us by 1,000 cuts. And as long as it continues on our town and we continue to allow it, that's incorrect, I think. I think that we should be more concerned about the health and safety of the residents of the town and the village. Okay, there's other ways to eliminate. I think that one of the problems is I think it's going to be a problem for you to just say all of a sudden you can't use this property in the back and you can't function as long as you have the leachate running off. I think that's a problem. But there's a thing called prosecutorial discretion, and your attorney can cover that. But basically, I believe that means that, look, every time we go to as an example, every time we drive down 17, and we're in excess of 65 miles an hour, we don't expect the police to prosecute everybody doing 66 or more. It's a discretion thing on the part of the enforcement people, and it could be a discretion thing on the part of this town that, hey, we're not gonna prosecute or not gonna stop you from doing this for a period of time. And that period of time could be related to, you're gonna make progress fixing these things. You're gonna make progress cutting down on the leachate. You're gonna make progress by coming up with a plan to how to deal with the leachate. Right now, a lot of the leachate, which is coming up from the stormwater running across the blacktop, is just running into a storm drain and running off site. There is no attempt to treat that at this point in time, and that is a problem, because we know that we have reports of it smelling, or we see this coming off the site on the wheels of the vehicles leaving the site. Has been reported frequently. So I think maybe you could give them a period of time to fix these things and come up with plans to fix these things. I think one of the other problems that has been the trailers at the back of the property that are left there overnight filled are supposed to have covers on them. Well, I think they have had covers on them in some cases. However, those covers are not impervious. Some of the covers they have on there are meant for going over the road. It's meant to keep the garbage from blowing out of the trailer. That is appropriate for going down the road. It's not what we're looking for when they have it parked on the property. What we're looking for is to keep the water from going into there and running out of the trailer, having run through the garbage. We don't need that. That's not what we intend to have happening. I think that we have to look at that. We know that this is true because we've had pictures of the covers from aerial photos, and it's very obvious, and we also have seen what's running off. So I think there are a number of issues that need to be done. However, I think this is progress. This proposal is progress, so it's making it work better. But I think that we have to, whatever the town has to, push for even better, because we deserve better, and they can do better. The last thing I'd have to say is that I think we have given them a gift with the tipping fee. We know that in Westchester County, tipping fees are $6 a ton. So there is a lot of room for it. I think that when you look at this and assuming they're gonna make any kind of progress, you should be looking at increasing your tipping fees the next time you get issued a permit after this one. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No more comments from the public.
Anything from the board?
Got a couple things. There's two reports that I received recently. Apparently, you must have received the one from Lyman Tully, authored by Sean Hoffman. So you have all the information. I don't have to get into the nuts and bolts of that because
I've seen it.
you're gonna address those issues, right?
Correct, yeah.
There was another report authored by John Canning, which I believe I just received this today, I believe. or maybe
Yeah.
that-
It was dated December 10th, 2025, so you got.
Yeah, so, but I don't see your name on this.
I have not.
We just got it tonight.
Right, so therefore, this particular, I believe this particular thing should be shared.
George, I can speak to that. So,
Okay.
I didn't realize that the applicant had received it, so right before the meeting, I logged on and sent them an electronic copy of it. They will be in their inbox tomorrow.
Okay, so I mean, as I said, I don't have to go into the nuts and bolts of that, as long as you have that, and that's gonna be addressed. What I did wanna talk about is, the improvements at the intersection of Hartley and 17M, which is part of that report, the 17M report, but I just wanted to, voice my concerns. Apparently, IWS feels that there isn't gonna be an increase in traffic, and basically, the intersection works as it is. And I just wanna go on the record as saying that I don't think that the intersection does work as it is, and there should be improvements done to that intersection, and that also is, I believe, in John Canning's report, in another form, but it is in John Canning's report. The second thing is the host agreement, and I can't believe for the life of me that we're going to accept $1 for the next 30 years. There should be an escalator clause in that in some way, shape, or form. I don't know, I accept Neil for what he said, that it's $6 down in Westchester. You know, there should be some escalator clause in the host agreement, even though the host agreement was already signed, and sometimes things go by, but there should be an escalator clause in there. I was thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 4% each year. Next is surrounding properties. The town planning board meeting of 3/16/23, the plan was not to purchase any of Altori's land, but the plan was to use surrounding properties. And if in fact that is happening, that they're going to use surrounding properties, I don't think it's being fully addressed with the DEIS, and there should be more work done on how they're using the surrounding properties, what surrounding properties are they using, what type of environmental issues do we have to deal with when it's off the site. That's a issue for me. Neil already talked about the violations. There were violations in 1 of 24 through 3 of 24, another violation in 1 of 25 to 3 of 25, and then 4 of 25 through 6 of 25. So those violations should be looked into. And that's it.
Supervisor? Just wanted to, before you close out, to acknowledge the correspondence received today, that make that part of the record. Councilperson Lyons was alluding to some of the things in there, but they should be incorporated into that as
The
well.
John Canning letters be incorporated.
No, the letters from
I'm
Ms.
sorry.
Weaver.
Yes, we did receive, some information from a resident who couldn't be here tonight. We distributed to all the board members, and we're gonna include it in the minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and that, those are the things we got from Sue Cleaver.
That's correct, yeah.
So they're being passed on.
That's as if they were read into the record, they're part of
Great.
the.
In reference to Hartley Road and the information that John Canning provided relative to fixing Hartley Road, I spoke to the highway superintendent today. This was something in our plan when we redid Hartley Road. We held back on the intersection because of the electronics that's in the ground that was performing the mechanism to turn the lights on and off. We believe the DOT has changed how that light functions now. It's all automatic and it's all via the airwaves. So he's gonna verify that, and if it is, we're gonna be fixing that road, because it's part of our original road configuration that we had 2 or 3 years ago. So you don't have to address that.
Okay, thank you.
As far as the, John, as far as the Hartley Road, Mary, what'd you say it was, 2016?
2016.
2016, the town board changed the weight restriction on Hartley Road. It's still 5 tons on Gate Schoolhouse. I spoke to Brad about that. That was something that he has to take care of, that they didn't get that sign up. He will get that sign up. That's all I have. Oh, one other thing, I do want to address the EPA issue. I know everybody's bringing it up. I did get confirmation that, from the EPA as well as from IWS, that all the environmental issues with that with the wastewater leakage have been repaired. The fine has been assessed, the fine was paid, and as far as the EPA is concerned, they have a consent and agreement on the final order. It's been closed out. That's all I have now. Rick?
I'm just wondering what we could do about the runoff. How can that be addressed? Is there something in the plan is there a holding tank or something that can be installed to contain that?
We talking about leachate?
Yeah, leachate, I'm just
There
asking.
are underground storage tanks. There
Okay.
are currently underground storage tanks, that all leachate goes to tanks, that will always go to tanks
Okay,
and be hauled off
okay,
by a licensed wastewater treatment.
okay. And that contains the whole site the whole site runs into?
Anywhere where leachate would be collected, it's, obviously, anything leachate interior, it goes to a holding tank. Anything outdoors goes, and there's a couple holding pads.
Mhm.
They drain 2 holding tanks that are underground, they're dual walled.
So all your storm drains inside the building, everything is going into the leachate tanks.
Correct.
Okay. I like that, thank you.
Melissa, anything?
No, I just wanted to thank Sean for putting this together. It was very helpful to itemize, and it was very helpful, and it does seem like there are several things that still have to be addressed, so.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Canning, would you like to speak on anything?
Can you put the mic on, John? I'm sorry. Got it?
Got it.
Doesn't work.
Is it working now? No?
Now it's on.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Supervisor and members of the board. And for the record, John Canning with Kimley Horn. The applicant is following the DEIS.
Can you guys turn off your mics? I'm sorry.
That was me.
The applicant is following the EIS process. We've provided a report to you. They will be required to respond to the issues in our report and to your comments in the FEIS. Just by way of looking at traffic, this is an unusual application. Standard operating procedure is, I have a green field, there's 1,000 cars going by it, I want to put up a building that's going to add 100 trips. I have to evaluate 1,100 trips. This is an application for a permit that was in existence in the past for a different number to continue to operate, and so the applicant's position is there's already 1,100 trips on the road and the road is working fine. That's unusual, and you may look at it that way. We did look at the DEIS. I can tell you that the analysis of Maple Avenue that they provided shows that in the morning, and you probably know this, in the eastbound direction, there's long queues going into the intersection, and in the evening, there's long but not quite as long queues going in the westbound direction. The DEIS doesn't indicate how much traffic is going into the intersection from this project. It's probably not a lot, probably on the order of 20 or 30 an hour, so it's not going to alter the nature of traffic operating conditions, and it's not even clear what would happen if this permit was not to be approved, whether those trips would still be there. We did look at the safety record. There were 10 accidents reported, I believe, at the intersection, but there were a lot within 600 feet that were rear-end accidents that could be caused by the traffic light but were not recorded there, so we'd like to have that documented so that the board knows what the situation is. And there were no turning templates to show if it's difficult right now for tractor trailers to make the right turn from Hartley Road onto westbound 17M. So if it is difficult to make that turn because you've got a red light and cars are waiting in the eastbound lane and the tractor trailer might have to make a turn and a couple of people might have to jockey, that would be something that you could look at potentially. But all of these are in the record, and the applicant will be required to respond to them.
Thank you, John.
Hey,
Thank
I'd
you.
like to, you said Maple Avenue, isn't it?
I'm sorry, Hartley.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yes, okay.
okay,
Very-
no worries.
Sean, anything you want to add?
Just in terms of process, does the board have any questions first on my written comments that you wanted me to go over?
I don't, very thorough.
So, just in terms of process, so this obviously is before you for public hearing through DEIS, but also for your solid waste management permit that you're considering. If you choose to close a public hearing this evening, state regulations require that you accept written comments for 10 days, which would be through end of business next Monday. Those comments for the public would go to the town clerk, and any written comments the clerk's office receives will be provided to the applicant. The applicant's next step would be to prepare a final environmental impact statement, and in that, we will take all of John Canning's comments, my comments, your comments, and the public comments this evening, as well as any other written comments, and they'll respond to those in an itemized fashion. And then you would receive that, and then you would review those responses to determine whether those are adequate.
All very good. Anything else from the board?
So if we don't close the public hearing and leave it open, there's still opportunities for other people to comment.
They have 10 days to comment.
If we leave it open.
No, if we close
No,
it.
if you were to close it right now,
You would be left it open until the next meeting or whenever, then people would have an opportunity to see, to digest what was discussed here tonight, also some of the written documents, and maybe want to comment on that in the next public hearing. So I don't know, if we don't close it and just leave it open, what timeframe do we have?
if you don't close it and leave it open, whenever you do close it, then there's a 10-day written comment period after.
Right.
But do we have a time frame within the positive declaration time frame? Do we have a time frame that we have to?
No, there's no requirement. If you feel that you're going to, you shouldn't leave a public hearing open unless you feel you're gonna get public comment.
Right, but there are a lot of mitigation factors that they have to address, a tremendous number of mitigation factors, not just a few.
But
They-
we
they
get to
can't-
address that on the FEIS, right?
Hold on, yeah, they can't begin to address that until you close the public hearing.
Okay.
So. Right, anything else, Mary?
Yep.
I see no reason to keep it open. I mean, only one person spoke tonight. I think everything is in there. George's stuff's in there, Phil's stuff's in there. I think I'd like to get them to start working on the FEIS to try to put this behind us. We will leave it open for 10 days. So, I'd like to have a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? You need a roll call on that?
Want to do a roll call?
Do you need one?
No? Okay,
Aye.
All right.
very good.
Good.
Take care.
Thank you.
Written comments have to be in by Monday, the 22nd.
Okay, first item on the agenda is further discussion on the IMA between the city of Middletown and town of Goshen, water and sewer service. We had some questions that were asked by Phil. I do have, so that everybody has a copy of it. I got one for everybody.
I have it.
Melissa, I gave us.
I get that today, yes, thank you.
So that's a copy of every support letter that we got on the district. But anyway, let's go back to, and the first question Phil you had was you wanted to see a map on what the existing water district would look like.
Well, there was no map included at that time, so,
I have it.
yeah.
I also have extra for anybody in,
I think I have a copy of that, unless it's updated.
Yeah, you have two copies of this.
I have it. Yeah, I
anybody
have
would
it.
like to see it? So that illustrates the 3 parcels that are in the approved water district, approved, Amy's water district. Your next question was, you spoke about the price that we're paying Middletown. I apologize. It's $18.26 per 1,000 gallons of water and sewer combined is our cost.
Say that again, Joe?
$18.26 combined
Per gallon?
per 1,000 gallons.
That's water and sewer?
That's combined, yeah.
And what is that price again, 18 what?
1836. You want, George, you want the broken down price? I can give that to you. So water is $10.66 per 1,000 gallons, and sewer is $7.60 per 1,000 gallons, for a total of $18.26 per 1,000 gallons. That would be our cost from the city of Middletown. We spoke a little bit about the Middletown's need for anybody connecting in the town of Goshen to pay them a connection fee. That's something that we also have in the village, and the resident that's connecting to the sewer treatment system in Hamiltonian Park, Arcadia Hills, or any of the water districts pays the town as well as the village a connection fee, so that's consistent with that. Good call. What the last question was, there was one more.
hold on.
Do you know
I
what the-
apologize, left it
Do
on
you know
the
what the
desk.
connection fee is?
Oh,
Uh,
exit termination,
is
that's
that-
another question, like what would the exit termination mechanics look like?
Of the IMA?
Yeah, the.
So there is no penalty or default clause in the contract. The default is if we don't start giving them 160,000 gallons of water in 12 months, the contract is null and void and has to be renegotiated. So it is binding on the city of Middletown side to the town of Goshen. It is not financially binding from the town of Goshen to the city of Middletown. It is the first phase of creating the connection that we have to Middletown. It had to be done this way because Amy's has to relinquish their agreement with New York State in order to give it to us, and they were uncomfortable doing that until we had an agreement with the city of Middletown. So the agreement with the city of Middletown is a non-binding agreement on our side. It binds them to us, but us, not us to them, financially. I think those were the 4 questions that were asked of me. I know that Ford has some additional stuff they want to talk about. I mean, tonight is just, you know, my goal tonight is just to get as much information that we need from everybody here, and then we can postpone this to the next meeting to finalize whatever we need to finalize and any changes that the board would like to see, so.
And our next meeting is the
22nd,
22nd?
yeah.
December 22nd.
So, Phil, do you have anything else you'd like to?
I do, they just, I have to review all of these things, I have a lot of questions.
Okay.
But one of the main things that jumped out at me, and maybe I just didn't understand, is that this is an intermunicipal agreement with Middletown.
Correct.
However, it does refer to agreements with Amy's,
Correct.
their transportation system, and mental health.
Correct.
That has no business in this agreement. But these are separate agreements having nothing to do with this, binds us to do certain things with other entities that, it says, whereas the transportation company previously entered into an agreement entitled Water and Sewer Service Agreements where the city agreed to provide so many gallons,
Mm-hmm.
and then it says, water for half, and it says that we don't have to buy their assets, the transportation company.
There are no assets.
I don't know, it says we have to, so if there, I don't even know why that's in here at all. It has nothing to
Well,
do
the ass-
with this municipal agreement, nor does the mental health one have anything to do with the municipal, those are separate agreements.
Yeah, the mental health issue is in there because I wanted to make sure that mental health did not have to pay a connection fee, that was part of the deal. So the city of Middletown wanted into that, in the agreement with us.
Well, that brings me to the next step. Why are we concerned about that at all? They should be treated like any other customer. They shouldn't be part of any agreement. There's no need to go into any other agreement as if we were gonna go with Healy or somebody else. So I can't figure out why. And the next thing as I thought about this thing is, why are we paying Amy anything? Why, I mean, they ran pipes, and that's part of the cost of preparing their sites in order to come, but they never came. So this infrastructure is in the ground. I can't see why we can't go straight to Middletown and hook up directly to Middletown. Why we have to buy anything from any transportation company. Usually, when someone puts things, infrastructure in the ground for this, they would dedicate it to the towns, just like any other transportation. If they came, I think there's a subdivision out there that was gonna run a transportation line into the village, and then once you have that done properly, you dedicate it to the town, we maintained it, and so on and so forth. So I'm a little confused on a lot of this stuff. I have to really relook at
Yeah,
it.
sure, you can
You
look
know,
at
those
it.
are
I
some
can
of the
tell you, I can
questions.
tell you that Middletown is not gonna allow us to connect to an asset that we don't own. Two, I
Well,
believe.
they should own it.
No,
If it's
Middletown
in the
doesn't own
city
it,
of Middletown-
Amy's owns it.
And if it's in the town of Goshen, then it should be dedicated to us. Why would we reimburse the Amy's for something they did in order to prepare their site, and then they pulled out? It's not, so.
I guess it's a
Now they're
provision.
just trying to sell out assets and pieces of property, and by the way we had talked, if there's another firm that's gonna come in there, they'll have to be provided with water. We may not be able to buy any water whatsoever if there's, I don't know, another So.
But they're
so-
restricted by they're restricted
Yeah.
by what our maximum gallons per minute on the contract is. But I did speak to Middletown already, and there's additional water and sewer available above and beyond the 300,000 gallons. I will say
Yeah,
without throwing
okay. Yeah.
throwing anybody
Yeah.
under the bus, I
No,
do
no.
agree with the position that you take on the line should have been dedicated to town of Goshen, but that should have been done when Amy's was given their initial agreement. So if it wasn't done,
Usually when it's done, that's when you do it, or at
I
any
wasn't
other
here for
time.
that.
But what I'm saying is, I've been thinking about this thing, and I'm like, why should we be reimbursing them for something that they had to do for their operation, which they didn't do? Well, you know, it's there, what are they gonna say, are they gonna shut the water off? I don't think so. I don't think they can stop us from hooking up to that infrastructure. Can they? If our town attorney says they can,
I mean,
I don't know if you heard the question. did you?
I did
I know you
not,
were
to be
talking
honest,
to- yeah.
I've
So
Yeah.
Phil's position is it's in the ground, it's infrastructure that's in the ground. It was part of the agreement that they had to come to Goshen, although
Amy's.
it was never solidified in the agreement that they dedicate that to the town of Goshen.
Or not.
So,
Usually when you put infrastructure in, if there's any maintenance and stuff like that, they would dedicate that to the town.
I can't
Now they're
answer-
done.
I don't,
Okay,
I sort of not off the cuff, I know that answer, but
please
I
research.
understand, yeah.
We're talking about
I-
$3 million.
I was actually, that's what I was turning and talking to.
Good, we're talking about $3 million that I don't think we should spend.
well, it's, I don't know,
Ultimately.
I don't think they'll see it based on the cost per gallon cost per 1,000 gallons we're paying them back
Yeah,
until my great-great-grandchildren who haven't been born.
but they're gonna sell that piece of property, and there might, hopefully, there's a light manufacturing plant that comes in that'll give us some ratables rather than
That's what
a
we're working on.
rather than some other organization that's tax exempt. Once they come in, they're gonna need water.
Yeah, and
And
that's
so-
what we're working on. And then
Yeah.
hopefully by the time we have the agreement with Amy's, we'll be able to share with the board who the potential
I understand,
client is for
I
that
understand.
building.
I think we should just pull Amy's right out of the equation.
I don't know if we can legally,
And,
so you need to look at
and the
that.
mental health people out of the equation. If they wanna hook up to us, then it's the same hookup, same fees.
Oh, they're paying everything. No, they know that already. They're
So they
paying.
shouldn't be in this agreement because nobody else is. I mean, that, I
We'll look at it.
I don't wanna be, you know.
We'll look
get
at it,
ahead of
we'll
my
look at it
skis.
and give you a
Okay.
legal perspective on it.
Yeah.
It was part of the agreement,
Yeah.
because Middletown waived the expense to connect.
And you did, and Joe, and I wanna just say this, you did a tremendous amount of work on this to get this agreement. I understand that, and I give you all the accolades you deserve. I was in your office once or twice when you were talking to these people. And I know ultimately, we wanna get water and sewer down in that commercial area. I understand that. It's just a matter of how, when, where, and how much it's gonna cost us.
Let's get your answers, your
Yeah.
questions answered, not a
Okay,
problem.
and that's the only reason I'm voicing these areas of concern.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Anything else?
Oh, yeah, I got lots of stuff.
George, wake up.
I mean,
Well, let's get it, let's
I'm
get
awake.
it.
I'm more than awake.
I know you are.
Just to follow up what Phil was saying, I mean, if I was OMH at the psych center, I'd be saying, this is like too good to be true. They have wells now, right?
Mhm.
And they have a condition, I have no idea what that condition of that sewer plant is in there.
Functional, operational,
Well, that's one of the things that I think we have to evaluate, to see.
it's been evaluated, I'll get your report on it.
Oh, it has
It's
been
fun-
evaluated.
It's functioning, it's operational, it's only 60,000 gallons a day. It was built strictly to support that.
Yeah, so is that, so now they're looking at 40,000. Milltown's only giving us 40,000 gallons a day for the
Them.
OMH.
No, Middletown is giving us 360,000 gallons of sewer.
No, no.
However, our clients are.
It specifically says in there,
It's not
300
about
over 7 days, and then plus 40
Right.
gallons per minute for the site center.
Correct.
I mean, that's in there. Let me just finish my point. My
Yeah.
point is this, is that if I was OMH, I'd be saying, this is too good to be true. I'm getting rid of my wells, I don't have to deal with that sewer plant in any way, shape, or form, And now, the town of Goshen is basically on the hook. If there's any problems in any way, shape, or form, we just call up the town, and the town has to provide water for us, which, as I have said to you already, Joe, is that means we have to put the lip-off wells online.
Correct.
Because we can't rely on the fact that Middletown 24/7 is gonna give us water. We have to
Under
have-
contract, they're giving us water
Well,
24/7.
we have to have a backup. I mean.
Of course, that's why we put,
Good
that's why we're
engineering
purchasing it.
practices would say,
Right.
You
Agreed.
should have a backup
I agree.
plan.
Yep.
So anyway, I mean, that's just my thing with them.
Mhm.
This plan here that we had, and I got this before, this encompasses four parcels, right? We have Verhaeg, Science of the Soul, Amy's, and the Site Center?
No,
I guess that's.
not the site center is 12-1-101.
Well, what's
12-123 is the
So there's
last,
three then. Is it Verhaeg, SOS, and Amy's?
and 12-1-23.2.2 is property that's been dedicated to the town of Goshen. That's our lot.
Oh, okay.
Which one is that?
Which
There
one?
are
12-1-23.2.222.
Oh, okay. Yep.
That's where we gave the easement for,
Oh, okay.
There's three parts.
Okay,
Yep.
so then everyone else that's going to be in this water district is going to be an outside user.
correct.
So I don't know all the ramifications for that type of thing. Because originally, I believe, the water and sewer district was going to be encompassing everybody along that line. And then.
It still is, but they'll be
basically
out-of-district
changed.
users paying additional money, and they need to pay to connect us. So the whole purpose of doing, one of the reasons of doing it this way, if you recall, in one of our meetings, we had a big public outcry from quite a few people, and Lou got up and said he had 16 people, for
Yeah.
which I've never got those names, that weren't interested in joining. So the only way we can do this is by creating a district that, we don't have to create the district. The district was already created and approved by the Department of Health and the DEC. So this allows us to take over the district, and it allows anybody else that wants to connect to the district will connect as an out-of-district user, and their responsibility is to pay to connect to the district if they want to connect. So the people, Sosslers and a couple others who voiced their opinion that do not want to be in the district, don't have to be in the district. Now, however, when this is all formulated and put together, the agreement's gonna say, at some point in time, you will realize that the value of your property is much greater if you have water and sewer. And when you come to us, you'll be paying a premium to connect to the district.
And it's kind of an unknown. Some people will say, geez, I better jump on that now.
They could.
And I think other people will say, listen, I'm good.
Yep, that's
We're going
right.
this way here, and at least I have, the people who take over this parcel will at least have accessibility to water and sewer.
Well, George, I can guarantee that anybody that's selling their parcel along that commercial corridor will petition to get water, because the value of their property is going to double in value. So prior to the sale, they'll be coming to us.
Okay, so, one of the things I had was the letters of intent, which I guess we
You got,
Is, I didn't see BOCES in here. BOCES, you did say that they're
Mark
in.
Coleman,
They're in,
Mark
right.
Coleman is in, I spoke to the county, so the
Yeah.
county is running down two paths right now. I spoke to Rick Golden, at the partnership dinner, he said, we're running down the path of creating our own water and sewer district, because we have to. We can't rely on whether they're gonna do it or not. However, if the town of Goshen formulates the district, from a financial perspective, the county believes that it is cheaper for them to run the line all the way up to us from there, from, the 911 center, than it is to set up their own municipal water and sewer.
So where are they gonna be getting, if they don't go with us, where are they getting their water?
They have wells on their property that they're gonna have to build. It's gonna take them 3 years to get them approved through the DOH, or the
Yeah.
Board of Health.
And back in the day when the 911 center and the jail was going in there, they didn't have too good a situation with their wells.
Well, that's why they paid, whatever they paid to go all the way to the village.
Caluane or whatever it was in one of the wells and stuff like that, so.
Well,
To be determined.
I can only tell you what they're telling me, that they definitely would love to be a recipient of our water and sewer, but they still have to go down the path of building and spending the engineering cost to build a municipal solid waste treatment facility as well as a, public water system.
Do we have, I know we hired some engineers, do we have any analysis as to how much each would take? I know the county's gotta be a very big customer, very big, and I'm just wondering how much.
I will have an analysis, I'm not completely done with gathering all the data from everybody that's willing to connect. Keeping in mind, some of them are still applications through the town, the planning board, they don't even know, they're just estimating what their usage is
The
gonna
county's
be.
a big one, and
County's a
if they
big
go in
one.
a different direction,
County's a big one, OMH is 40,000 gallons a day,
well,
Milmar is a huge one,
yeah.
Both sewer and water.
sewer and water.
Yeah, yeah.
The Healy's, I did speak to, I spoke to Ketamine today, they reached out to me because they're not sure. They're moving their wine facilities from Marlboro down to here, so they're gonna be manufacturing wine in that facility in the coming year or two. So they're gonna have a huge requirement for additional water. So they just wanted to make sure that they can connect us as a backup. So, no, listen, I couldn't tell you what it is, but I don't see us having a problem meeting the 300,000 gallons a day.
No, I'm sure we won't.
Yeah,
Especially if someone-
assuming those people are there, but now,
Yeah,
just take me through this. The water and sewer line comes and ends by Amy's.
Correct.
It takes, I'm estimating, but another half mile to get to 6.5 Station Road.
No, it's longer than that.
So is it longer?
Yeah.
A mile?
It's almost a mile, yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so there's a mile of main that has to be put down there.
Correct.
Then you make the right onto 6.5 Station Road, Healy's and Milmar and the agricultural place there.
United AJ.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's a number of them, but the cost of all of that is gonna be incurred by those private entities.
Correct.
No tax dollars.
No tax dollars, no bonding, no borrowing, no.
So that means these people like Healy's, we have to give them a figure, or wherever the people that are coming in, we have to give them a figure, and it's, I mean, I think it's gonna be a huge amount, and my concern would be is they'd say, well, thank you very much, but I can't do that. I just can't.
When you say
put
it'll
that
be a
money
huge
into it.
figure, what do you mean, what will be a huge figure?
Oh, millions of dollars.
For what?
For the
running
water.
the main down from Amy's down.
It's $300 a linear foot. $750,000. That gets us to a catch basin at 6.5 Station Road,
Right, and then we also need a pump there, right?
pump station.
A pump station there,
Mhm.
right? Okay. And then.
I have some, an engineering, I have Delaware Engineering in conjunction with TAM working on getting us a price for all of that.
So
And the
they
design.
So that's the type of thing that I
Yeah,
need.
no, you'll have that.
That's important.
I need that information.
Yeah, but that
I can
doesn't,
tell
what I'm
them to
trying to say to you is this agreement is not requiring of that information, because this agreement does not bind us to a penalty. The next agreement that we sign with Amy's, you'll have to have all that information, yeah, I agree with that, because now we're starting to get bound. But I can't start the process of getting this done without the agreement with Middletown. Amy's will not get into a contract with us, they will not release their agreement with the state.
So, and that was another point that I was going to make is, what ideally, what I would like to see, and I believe Allison is working on it, because I spoke to her,
Mhm.
Allison Young.
Allison Phillips.
Phillips, excuse me, it's Young, the firm is Young.
Young and Phillips, yeah.
Young Phillips. So, anyway, the amount of money there that would be incurred by these folks just seems to be quite a sum of money, along with, the legal and the engineering that has to be done, right? It's very expensive, but I think you're convinced that
That's their
these people-
responsibility. you know?
these people are gonna buy into this.
BOCES already said to me they have excess money sitting there to get over to us. They need water and sewer. They have to pay it, you know?
Yeah, well, but BOCES is a whole different situation. I mean, they're a line, I guess, from
Yeah, but what do you-
wherever we end.
They're gonna have to cut the 6.5 Station Road, where the pump station is, 6.5 Station Road.
Right.
So we'll have to get around Maple Avenue and down. Keep in mind, George, if the county is our customer, they're paying for a good portion of that line to get up 17. They're paying the lion's share of the line to get up 17. And the cost savings to the county is huge. It's gonna cost them $6-7 million to create a water and sewer, system. So, you know, the other thing too is they would probably do a lot of the work with their own people, so prevailing wage wouldn't apply. So there are cost savings. Unfortunately, prevailing wage is what kills a lot of these jobs.
Right. Right now, all of the money that's being expended on this is coming out of Fund B.
So, loan from Fund B to this district, yes.
So, eventually what will happen is that will all be paid back
Correct.
to Fund B, and
Correct.
the monies will be flowing from other sources. that
Correct.
we just talked about.
Correct. And we're not at $60,000, we're at a little over 40,000.
Next is, it's kind of, my thought now is kind of encapsulating the whole thing, that we have like a financial plan here for all of the different costs,
Mhm.
so that we have a financial advisor or somebody can give us the information in toto. of
Yeah, that's what Delaware Engineering has to deliver to us. You'll get that. But keep in mind, the number is not gonna be where you think it's gonna be, because everybody has to bear the burden of connecting to us. And our connection is gonna be where it is, Amy's Kitchen.
And that's where we're gonna have to build a pump station.
Pump station at Amy's Kitchen, yep. That will be the only cost that we would incur.
Yeah, so the main basically is going to, go down to 6.5 Station Road, make a right, and then that's it. All
It's
the
gonna
rest,
go down
all the
to-
rest will be service lines.
It's gonna go down to 6.5 Station Road, and there'll be a pump station there to pump it back up to us, and there'll be, a catch basin there that dumps everybody into it, probably gravity into it.
They don't just run service lines, they have to run their own main to get to their service.
So if they can't get gravity to us, they gotta run a pump station, they have to run a what do you call it line?
Force main.
Force main.
Would like to see this sewer, plant that, we may be getting for $1.5 million, or maybe for $1, right?
I'm more on the lines of $1, so
Right,
I'd like
well,
to,
$1, but I'd like to, I think you said it right, I'd like to see what the condition of
Sure.
that sewer.
I'll get a condition report from,
I'm not sure why we're even buying the sewer plant. If we're gonna send our sewer to Middletown, I'm not sure why we would wanna buy something that small, that's not gonna accommodate hardly anything. In addition to that, we'd have to maintain it, and we'd have to upgrade it if we exceed the speed permit. I mean, the village had to build a whole new thing. Why are we even bothering with that sewer plant? I don't
the
understand.
same reason that we're building the lip-off wells. If something happens to the city of Middletown, you look in their contract, they have a right to stop us. They
But
won't
at
do it.
40, but at that many gallons.
Oh, we're gonna have to upgrade.
They'll
There's
be
no-
use the gallons.
We're gonna have to upgrade that wastewater treatment facility plant at some point, but we're gonna do that with money that comes in and revenue that comes in.
I think once again, when you get a sewer plant, most of the time, the developers build the plant, and they dedicate it over to us and we run the plant. We don't usually buy a plant, especially an old plant with very limited, I mean, 40,000 gallons or whatever it is, really small. That's not gonna take up anything. That's not gonna back up anything, based on what we're doing in order to bring water and sewer down. So
No, there's no,
my
there's no,
thought is, I
doubt-
think
there's
we
no
just-
doubt that.
But
there's
those
no
are the
doubt
things
that-
that I want
Right,
to
I'll have a
talk
cost
about.
analysis on what it's gonna cost to upgrade that sewer treatment plant to 1 million gallons, yes, I will have a cost analysis for you.
Yeah, and between 60,000 and 1 million, we got a big stretch in between there, that's a lot of numbers.
Well, you'll have that. You can make a more, you don't have to
Okay,
make
let's
a,
get
you don't
one.
have to guess, you can make an educated decision once you have the data, I agree with you. But the
Yeah,
signing of this
okay.
agreement has nothing to do with any of that.
Well, it does, because they're involved, they're noted in this thing. If they weren't.
As a water and sewer client, yeah, so we have
Yeah.
plenty of room for
No,
them right
no,
now.
we're pinned down to what we have to give them.
40,000 gallons, yes.
Yeah. So, as I said,
So,
I made it clear I think they should be out, the transportation company should be out,
There is no transportation company, we're getting the assets for it.
which are no assets. But we're
Well,
gonna
we're
pay.
lying to Middletown as the asset.
Right, but we're gonna pay.
We're gonna pay $3 million
Yeah.
on a per gallon rate of X cents per gallon
Yeah.
until the $3 million is paid off.
Right, and I think we should pay nothing. So,
I-
I know Brady is gonna research that to see if we can just take this over, because
I don't think we can, but you can
Well-
research it, yep,
Yeah,
I got you. No,
yeah,
good,
we're
good.
good. We're not gonna retread that.
Presently, are the water and sewer lines from, I'll say Science and Soul to Midtown, are they being used?
No, only on the weekend that they have their event.
Also,
Then they put temporary pumps in there to pump the
so
sewer and water.
what does Science and Soul do for the rest of the
Goes to
year?
a whole tank and then it gets carted away.
Caught it out, I
Yep.
see. So the lines are not in use now and have not.
Water line is, you're getting water from Middletown,
To where? Where is
to
it?
Science of the Soul.
Oh, to Science and Soul, okay. No, I was concerned
Sewer's
about the
not, the
fact.
sewer pump station is
Yeah.
not a place.
I was just concerned about the fact that somebody should be looking at the water and sewer lines to see if they're capable of, I mean, once things are not used for long periods of times,
Yeah, I don't-
sometimes things happen.
Nothing happens to HDP.
No.
Nope.
No.
There's a 25-year warranty on the pipe itself.
We
George got another
beat this
page.
thing to death, so.
So George has got another page.
Well, do you wanna go through that?
No, I wanna get everything answered, yeah. I'm not-
So do I. I'm not ready to go to sleep yet.
No, go ahead, George. I didn't mean that derogatory, believe me.
So all of the improvements that we are talking about are coming from privately financed, right?
If I
We're
can
not gonna do any
if I can
bonds?
interrupt you for a minute. You guys from the fire department just came in, right? For
Yeah,
the
yes, sir.
second public hearing? That public hearing has been postponed until next meeting.
When's the
Because we
next
have
meeting?
all the data that we just received, I don't know if they shared it with you, all the data we just received on the assessment that was done on the 3 fires. It answers a lot of our questions, so we wanted to be able to absorb all of that. We postponed the meeting until the next meeting, which is December 22nd.
At
The-
7
yeah.
o'clock.
The hearing will be at the front end of the meeting.
You'll be the first one on.
Okay.
I'm sorry, George, go ahead.
Okay, so there's no bonds. We're not doing any bonds?
Bonds for what?
Finding-
There's nothing for us to finance right now.
Nothing, so.
I mean,
so-
the pump station at Amy's Kitchen one, but I'll get a cost on that. It's not enough to bond, it'll be a loan.
Or a band or something.
Yeah. Mhm.
Wow. Whole fire company here.
Wow. Oh, I asked that already, but we don't know what the town's charge is for hookup?
I'll get that from you. I didn't ask that question.
I said this already, but, I would like to see all of the contracts, like before me, so that I can kinda.
You'll
You know,
definitely, I
I-
can definitely share with you the Amy's agreement. I think that's completely done, Rory, is that correct? 99% of the way?
I mean, I haven't seen an updated draft in a while, but,
I can share that with you.
I understand what you're saying, that Middletown, the contract with Middletown has to go first before the other ones can do. But what I'd like to see is all of the contracts, just so I can read them.
I'll get you the Amy's contract. I'll ask Delaware Engineering to get us copies of the Amy's agreements, and I'll get them to you.
Yeah, it would have been all right if they came and made a presentation to us, so
Who?
we could, Delaware
They're gonna,
Engineering.
at the next meeting.
I mean, so we could have asked a lot of these questions, we just go on and on.
Yep.
And just walking around in the dark, feeling our way.
I don't think we're walking around in the dark. I think it's pretty.
No, the rest of the board I'm talking about.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. The, one other question that I would have, and I mentioned it the last time, and maybe on your notes for questions, is in item 24, it says that we're going to share in any expenses for Middletown's upgrade of their sewer system. That seems,
Item where?
number 24, it says in the event the water system infrastructure serving both town and the city require capital improvements, in addition to normal maintenance of equipment, the city will notify the town of the need for such improvements. Such costs and benefits shall be equitably distributed between the city and the town's water district. So,
Yeah, it's a standard clause in the agreement. At that time, if we decide we don't wanna share in it, we'll just go somewhere else.
Okay? I
That's-
mean, it just, these are contracts, and I know
Yeah, I
we
know.
can make decisions, well, we won't do this, and maybe we'll do that, but we don't have to do this, and
Well,
somewhere
the
along
alter-
the
the
line,
alternative is-
somebody's gonna wave this thing in our face and say,
Yeah,
did you
just-
sign this?
Yeah, I get you. Listen, everything's a negotiation. The alternative is, no, we're not gonna take that out of there. Okay, the agreement's over, we're done.
Right, but we agree, we're agreeing to do it.
We're agreeing that we will look at it when the time comes.
Okay.
But we have to have a backup. That's the whole purpose of getting a backup. Sorry, I don't need you. Now, you can go do it yourself if you want, and I'll continue to give you 300,000 gallons a day, but I'm not paying for you to, because you wanna upgrade and put a new pump in.
Well, that's what this says.
Yeah,
we'll do.
I know exactly what it
So, okay,
says, and it was an
yeah.
argument that I had, and it's a
Oh.
clause that they have in their contract they're not willing to waive.
Oh, so you talked about it.
Yes.
Oh, okay, well, that's a good answer then, I
I
talked
mean,
about that. They won't waive it.
the bottom line
Thank
is,
you.
okay, no, I was
Okay.
clear, I was clear with them, the bottom line is, okay, I'm gonna agree to it, and I'm gonna agree that I'm not gonna pay it, but I'm gonna agree that I will pay it.
Okay.
Just not gonna pay it, so I'll move away from you if you don't want my business.
Okay.
Okay, sure. Never
Well,
mind.
not only that, but the contract says we have to purchase water from them to a certain,
Yes,
to a certain
correct,
level.
that's right.
Before we even use any of our Lip-Off water or any other water.
That is correct.
We have to use their water.
Correct.
So, I guess
Good.
we're obligated to some degree. Okay, the next thing I had was, do we have a figure that is allocated towards Amy's now? I know, it depends on who goes in there, but coming down, we get 300,000 a day.
Right.
Is there X amount of that has to go to Amy's?
No.
Nothing.
We decide where the water comes, it's our district.
Well, if.
We're on the contract to give them that, right.
Yeah.
So our goal is to get them and solidify the contract. So, if we have 385,000 gallons going to the city of Middletown, and now we have a client that needs another 100,000 gallons, we're gonna take that from our water source.
Yeah, but if someone comes in and Amy sells that parcel of property to some kind of firm that needs the water, we'll have to provide them whatever
course.
they need
Absolutely.
first.
But it doesn't have to come from the Middletown line. There's nothing that guarantees them that water has to come from Middletown.
So what we're saying is we'll,
We'll supply the water from our own source.
okay,
And we're not obligated as this contract to use Middletown water first?
Not to, I think your question was, if somebody comes into Amy's, are we obligated under that agreement to give them the Middletown water?
Right.
My answer is no. We're obligated to give them water.
right.
Your answer is, your question was similar, but
Yeah. So, it's kind of a crapshoot. It could be the entity that comes into Amy's property, hopefully sooner than later,
Yeah,
could be 100,000 a day, or could be 600,000.
correct.
Right? I mean, it could be, then what?
It's a great thing.
Then what do we do?
We give them 600,000 gallons of water a day.
And what do we do with all the rest of our customers that we're saying need the water?
Well, Middletown has in excess of 1 million gallons a day. Right now, in excess, before Indigo even goes in.
Mhm.
So the client that I had a conversation with already, and I would love to share it, but I'm under an NDA to not name who they are, but their water need is somewhere around 600,000 gallons a day. I immediately called the city of Middletown, I spoke to the mayor, I said, if I have a client that's coming in and it's available, will you support 600,000 gallons a day? Absolutely, the line supports it, it's a 10-inch line.
it'll support it, but we'll need to contract it because if for some reason we can't supply that water, yet these people have paid $1 million or so to put water lines in, and they've already done that, and we can't provide enough water for whatever. we're
I'm
gonna
sorry,
have-
who paid $1 million to put
I
water?
said whoever, for the lines, whatever their own lines, their own pumps, the main line, whatever.
You're talking
whoever-
about the people that are at Amy's?
No, the people that, the outside users.
Oh, they're always gonna come first as far as an allocation goes. So if you connect, let's just say the county connects, and we have a commitment to the county of 80,000 gallons a day. That's their commitment. So if we have a total amount of 1 million gallons a day, minus the 80 for them, minus 60 for this client, and somebody wants to come into Amy's and says, I need 1.5 million gallons a day, I can't give that. I don't have that. I don't have that allocation.
Right, but we're limited to the 300 and some odd thousand that were contracted for.
Correct.
And Middletown says they have plenty, they may have plenty, they may not, but that's a says. And what I'm saying to you is, if there's more, let's say this one client comes in, this is a manufacturing plant, we give them water, we won't have enough.
It's an assessment of the
Water.
allocation, Phil, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So we have to identify the client that's coming in, he has to commit to us what his water needs are, and we have to commit to him that we have that excess water.
Right, and if we don't,
You can't come in, sorry.
you can't come in,
Yeah,
because we do have to give the people
we're
that
obligated
supported
to the,
that
we're
line.
obligated to the clients that supported that line
Right.
first.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay,
It'd be a great thing to happen.
So I think you have this information, I don't have it yet, but what is the amount of water that's needed daily by like Healy's, Millmore?
That's the
county?
report I'm working on.
Okay.
That's the report I'm working on.
That's what, I mean, that's what we're calling.
Yep.
And
Okay.
last but not least, I still have this high-density housing
Phil took care of that.
on my mind.
Phil, did you take care of that?
Somehow or other in the
Far,
contracts,
yes.
it should be commercial, commercial use,
That's right.
George?
no
It's done.
residential.
George, we're addressing that we're addressing.
It's
that.
done?
It's done. We're addressing that in the
I can sleep,
comprehensive plan.
I can sleep tonight.
You can sleep well, it's done.
I don't know, you got a lot of questions to think about. I don't know if that question's the only thing that's gonna keep you awake.
Well, you know, I even have an acronym for HDH.
Okay.
You know, I've been.
HDH, what is it? I heard HDH, that's something. I got you. I think
High density housing.
I think that we have that resolved. Phil, what?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we'll, yeah,
I'm-
it's done.
I'm very happy, but
You
that's,
see, Sean?
Skeptical.
You see what I was talking about?
that's,
I don't know how, I don't know
that could
how,
be an issue, right, Melissa?
Yes.
Right. There's no issue.
I don't know how to make you
And we may get sued, but
comfortable
there's no
other than
issue.
saying that I think that it's gonna be addressed in the comprehensive review.
It will definitely be.
Okay,
Okay.
that's my questions.
Rick?
I think this is the best plan that we've come up with, and I know you've been working on this nonstop. But to me, this has been a long time coming. All the people and businesses in this area really need this. They totally do. They're all having sewer problems. They're all rebuilding septic systems because everything fails out there. Every system I've seen out there fails. So the sewer alone is gonna solve a lot of problems. So I'm
Probably
very
more
happy
important
about
than the
this.
water. It's probably more important than the water,
Yeah,
really.
I'm very happy about this, so thank you.
Melissa?
Well, I wanted to thank you for the letters as well. It was very helpful to see there are 12, maybe, letters?
12 so far, but we'll have more.
Companies that have sent us letters requesting, help with, their infrastructure. And I do wanna thank you, I know, Joe, you put a lot of work into this. But I think there were good points brought up, you know,
Yeah,
cost
absolutely.
analysis, we've talked about it. It is a huge undertaking, it's an undertaking that I think is desperately needed. I think that we're doing our due diligence to put all this information together and, make it a truly, good decision for the community and for future businesses that wanna, conduct their business here, so.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me is we hear it, I listen to the people, I listen to our residents, you know, everybody's tired of warehouses, everybody's tired of trucks, but I can tell you this, without water and sewer, all you're gonna get is warehouses, that's all you're gonna get, there's nothing else. We can't stop the warehouse from coming in, as of, what's that?
Nothing.
As of right,
Nothing
you know,
yet.
we deeded this property commercial
Yeah.
many years ago.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that without water and sewer, the only thing you are going to get is a warehouse with trucks
That's why
going
we
in
had-
and trucks going out.
That's why we've had so many applications from warehouses, I'm sure, it's because they realize that they don't have.
Any place that does not have water and sewer, the only thing that can go in a industrial zone is a warehouse that takes product in and pushes product out. If you want, you know, any type of light industrial use, if you want any type of assembly use, if you want any type of manufacturing use with large quantities of employees, all, you need to provide them
Like
with
in
water and
Amy's
sewer. There's just no way around it.
I also think that, getting these water and sewer lines in, it's gonna open the state's eyes. They're gonna see what's going on in this town and on that road, and they're gonna need to address it.
I'm hoping that it shows, we can get some support from the DOT, but I do like the fact that we are putting together, the planning board is doing a great job in putting together these, part of, these agreements that allow them to support some of the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Now, I know we got 96,000 from one, we have another 25,000 committed from another applicant. So as we build this, maybe we'll be in a position a year or two from now down the road when we look at an intersection and say, we have a problem here, we need to fix this. We can address it with that money, that developer's money that's in that fund.
Yep.
Good.
Anything else? All right, very good. Next item on the agenda is review and discuss the application by Science of the Soul for the new event parking location. Jason, the floor is yours.
You sure you wanna do this after that discussion?
Yeah, I was gonna say, seems all the attention is focused in this corridor, but fortunately, this proposal isn't one that's going to contribute in terms of water and sewer, at least.
Just traffic.
Just traffic. We're here tonight to discuss a special use permit from the town board to allow us to, sorry, I don't know if I introduced myself, Jason Pittengarrow from Pittengarrow Noach, assisting the lead also from Pittengarrow Noach. We're here tonight representing Signs of the Soul, and we're looking at this parcel that is on Hartley Road. It's approximately 34 acres, and it is adjacent to the Heritage Trail. It's bisected by a tributary to the Middle Wallkill. And what we're looking to do is to transfer approved off-site parking that was part of the Signs of the Soul original application on the Strong Farm to this parcel here, that will be developed in the southern portion of this site here. And it's very similar to the parking that was proposed for Strong Farm. We've received comments from Sean regarding the application. There's a number of items in there that need addressing, but we're here just to get an initial presentation of this tonight. And just to clarify, it's not meant to be additional parking in terms of Strong Farm, but it's meant to replace the parking at Strong Farm. So this will have approximately 930 spots. Come directly from Hartley Road. It'll only again be used for that single event that is Signs of the Soul is hooking up to sewer for this once a year event, and that'll be the main use of the parking here. So we're gonna just introduce this tonight and get the process started. There may be some variances that we needed that we noted in Sean's memo, so we want to just discuss that process, whether it's something that moves forward with first here or go for the variances and then return here. So to address any questions from the board as well that we can address tonight.
So I noticed a couple sideways looks because you don't normally review site plan applications or special permit applications.
Correct.
In this particular case, this use, parking lot in and of itself is not in your use table. So your code actually allows you as a town board to issue special permit approval for an unlisted use. So that's why this is here this evening, right? And just to kind of provide a little bit more information, because I know it's been a while since Amy's and Science of the Soul was originally approved in 2016. So when that occurred, Science of the Soul recognized, even though they had 2,200 parking spots on site, and it's about 130 plus parking spots, they recognized that during that annual national conference that they would overflow, they would need additional. So at that time, they purchased Strong Farm, and Strong Farm, I believe, was approved for another 2,000 or so parking spots, right? And there was gonna be no improvements, it wasn't gonna be gravel or anything, they were just gonna park on the mowed hayfield. I understand that Science of Soul is looking to sell that Strong Farm, is that right?
It's up for sale now, it's listed and up for sale, both the Strong Farm and the house next to it.
Okay, so they're looking to sell that, but they still need parking, so they have purchased this site already. This would have less parking, but the applicant's proposing gravel as opposed to just parking on the surface. Again, this would only be overflow for their national event, which happens once a year. There were some, they still need to comply with zoning, even though they're before you. I provided them and you with a memo of the zoning requirements. There will be likely some variances required. There isn't much you can do this evening. Normally, you would start out with seeker, but the applicant's required to file a long form. They haven't done that yet. Next time they come back before you, you'll commence seeker. I think the only action that we'll take this night is really just to acknowledge that it's gonna be referred to the outside agencies.
So they don't need a site plan and go before the planning board, is that
Now,
what you're saying?
that all occurs at this board because of the use is unlisted.
Right, now, the Strong Farm, we rescind the approval for them to use the parking?
Yes, any application by this board would essentially give up that approval on Strong Farm, because you don't want two giant parking lots.
No, we certainly don't, and I just wanna make sure that we don't approve this.
So this is,
And that one is another backup for the backup.
No, that would be, I would recommend that you would consider making that a condition of this
Oh,
approval. I don't think that's
absolutely.
any problem.
Yeah, I mean, that
So-
would go
so-
without
so
it would
saying,
void the
because it's a
original
farm,
approval.
right, that's all we
Sure.
wanna do, it should remain a farm, I don't know how they,
so it's a reduction in size too,
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
from the original approval.
yeah,
It's
what
in the right
happens is
place.
you're getting a reduction in size,
Yeah.
although this is a little bit more intense, right? This is proposed currently to be a gravel lot,
Mhm.
Strong Farm is
Yep.
just gonna be parking in the field.
Right, right.
Gotcha.
What kind of
That's a-
variances do they need? What kind of variances?
One
do you
that comes to mind initially is curb cut. You have a spacing on driveway cut, curb cuts of 600 feet. And I believe that they're less than 600 feet.
So,
The DOT have to be involved in
No.
that because of
Tower
site
road.
distance?
It's Hartley Road. It's a town road. They're gonna need permits.
So
from
they
the
don't
highway
have to worry
superintendent.
about site distance and so on.
No,
and so forth.
you will.
They have plans, they have plans.
Yes, but they should just document it and confirm that they have it. But yes, I agree with you. I looked online.
Yeah.
You did, okay, all right, no, I have no problem with that.
So this comes off the tax rolls.
it's off the tax roll already, but Storm Farm goes back on the tax roll, which is a lot bigger.
But as I say, this goes off, this comes off the tax rolls already. It's already purchased? I mean-
Already purchased, they already own it,
It's a
yeah.
done deal. Okay, so I understand, as you said, it's once a year and they fill up the lot. I know a lot of car dealerships that are looking for space.
Okay.
How do we prevent that from happening? Because we're saying once a year or something like that, but what about other uses?
Yeah,
We
I-
restrict it.
I
in the special
understood
permit.
completely the same way that the original agreement would be voided. I would assume that whatever, approval, if you were to offer an approval, would have conditions, and one of the conditions would be that essentially it's only allowed to be used by Science of the Soul
Mhm.
for parking overflow for their,
Their- their
specific
events.
events.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.
I'm trying to get an idea in my mind of where this actual parcel is. I mean, I know, but does, you know the part that's the parking lot now that Tony Panera did?
Yep, that's part of the property,
So
and the
this
house that's
is-
there also.
This
Okay,
is
so-
TAM Enterprises property here.
Okay. So
And
in other
then-
words, it goes all the way to the trail?
Correct.
Is what you're
Exactly,
saying.
see, this is the trail here, so there is this area, in between, which is actually the majority of the property, between where the parking is and
Oh,
where the
so that
trail
road
is.
there that you're pointing, that's Hartley Road?
This is Hartley,
Oh, this is Hartley, okay.
this is the Heritage Trail.
I see, okay.
So how do they get into that parking lot?
There are entrances, two entrances here, we did have an entrance that was, spaced further from where this entrance is, but what we were
Is there an
concerned.
easement for that? You have easements for those to get to that parcel of property?
No,
Well,
it's
they
right off the
own,
road,
they own
comes off
this
the Hartley.
parcel.
Right, but the parcel doesn't look like it's touching Hartley Road.
It's right there.
Anyway.
No, it's up to the right of way of Hartley Road.
Yeah, the right of way, it's not on Hartley Road.
Yeah, it's on Hartley Road.
It's on Hartley Road, the Hartley Road is within the town's right of way.
Okay,
So if you drive out there, you'll see the emergency, entrance to Science of the Soul,
right,
to Amy's
right,
Kitchen.
yeah.
The parcel's right across the street.
There's also, this may orient you, there's a house and barn here,
Right,
and obviously those access right to Hartley Road, because they're on the
Right.
same parcel. And that
On the
parcel
same parcel.
is, adjoins Hartley
oh,
Road.
I'm sorry, I thought the parcel was just the one in blue.
No,
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 no.
I got it, now I got it.
No,
Okay,
no.
now I
Yes,
It's
it's
where all the
understand.
lines are for the parking lot.
I just thought that,
Yeah.
okay, I see the lines, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, now, of course, okay, we're fine.
Okay.
One thing I was mentioned in Sean's memo that the parking at Strong Farm was over grass hayfield. And I don't know if that's something that either the board would consider here, or I know you said potentially a grassed paver surface. If this was, because originally or previously, the prior owner considered using this for agricultural purposes. Maybe this could be somehow used similarly to Strong Farm, where this is agricultural or hayed, and it's a surface that's similar to Strong Farm's. I mean, regardless, we still comply with everything. I just think environmentally that might be more sound.
Yeah, listen, if they could leave it, grass, I'd rather see grass than gravel.
Yeah,
I could say though that it's probably not in your best interest.
Okay,
It is really
Really
wet
wet.
out there.
Wet, it's wet.
Very, very wet in that field.
sure.
And
Yeah.
there is drainage in that field, and it was maintained, but it continues to be really wet.
Are there
Okay.
any wetlands? I mean, are those?
There's no wetland, the only
Not
wetland
designated,
is
just
behind
wet.
that house.
I see that,
And there's only one little piece, it's a
Yeah.
very, very small piece
Yeah.
of wetland.
yeah.
Rick, I hate to disagree with you, but I think that green circle in the map, as well as the blue lines, are considered wetlands.
Wetlands.
That's
NWI
wetland?
wetlands,
Yeah.
not
I
wetlands.
never knew that.
Actually,
Yeah,
I-
it's a small portion of Army Corps wetland there. Yes.
Actually, I can't see the parking spaces that far, because I don't have glasses.
It's all,
I see
it's
them
all of
now.
these, it's
Yeah.
just because there's so many, it's hard to distinguish them individually.
But
And in terms of the drainage, I mean, that's something we could look at, but maybe raising, even if we do raise it and put drainage in, but then put soil over
Yeah,
it, so
that would work,
I'm not trying to,
that would work.
not
Yeah, I know
deal
it's
with the
seen-
drainage, but
I've seen
I
it.
do think environmentally, because the use is so infrequent, that might be better. And also, it may generate some,
Yeah.
not revenue, but at least there can be hay that's produced there seasonally. And if it's only once a year, you can obviously mow it right before.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, until I saw it in Sean's memo, we hadn't thought of it,
Yeah.
but, it would be consistent with the prior approval.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm coming down Hartley Road, I see the.
From
Jeep.
which side?
I'm coming.
From,
17 F.
interstate?
From 17 F.
Okay,
And so,
you're coming this direction.
yeah, right. So what I asked originally was the parking lot for the trail now that Tony Lasapanaro put in.
Up on top.
That's not gonna be disturbed. That's.
No,
that's
I
gonna
think
be-
that's all the way up here.
Right.
So
That's
actually, the soul is
Yeah.
continuing to allow the trail users to use the
Yeah,
property.
right. No, I just wanted to make sure that that was the case.
Yep.
Huh?
All right, so nothing we can do?
thank you.
There's no action, so what's gonna happen is we're gonna refer it. In the end of my memo was a list of agencies that are required to get referred. We're gonna do that. The applicant's gonna make revisions, look into the zoning matters that we discussed, and also provide a long form EAF.
And eventually we have to have a public hearing.
Yes, yes, you will. Special
I
permit
don't think
required
that'll
public
be a
hearing.
problem.
All right, Jason, thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, everybody, have a good evening. If I don't see you, have a nice holiday.
Yep, okay.
Next item on the agenda is review and approve the performance bond in the amount of, what is it, Mary, because mine is wrong, $141.30
$141,421.30.
and a stormwater maintenance bond in the amount of $4,000 for RVH mulch.
Supervisor, can I just speak briefly here?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I received the proposed agreement today. I reviewed it. I don't see any issues, a couple misspellings. I don't see any material issues. I'd be comfortable with if the board wished to go forward with it, just conditioned upon my final review. If there's any material changes, then it would come back. But if there's, I mean, we just had one recently here, and it's, much of the framework is similar to Chafee, so I just wanna give it one last glance.
Okay, very good. Anything from the board? Phil?
No,
No? Good? On the list?
Yep.
All right, so could I have a motion to approve the,
No, motion to authorize the
but
supervisor.
to sign, yes. Motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the agreement pending attorney's review.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second?
And then the performance bond amounts?
$4,000.
In it, right?
Yep.
And the other, isn't the performance bond, the 11,000?
No,
not-
it's
that was a-
121,000.
Oh,
Mary
I
made
had
a
a
typo there.
typo.
oh, I
Yeah.
see.
It's $121,000 for the performance bond and $4,000 for the maintenance bond. All right, so can I have that motion?
Yeah, I think they made
They
it.
did.
Rick and
Did
Melissa
it? Second?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, review and authorize the supervisor to sign the agreement with H2O for 2026. It is a drastic increase, but they laid it all out for us, and they do spend a lot of time here, and our water and sewer districts are growing. The new, as I understand it, the new green sand filtration system requires a lot of time and effort. I don't think we're in a position at this point to not sign it. They know a lot about our system. It's a very tricky system. There's a lot of different things that we have to do on a daily basis. I do believe that at some point in time, we have to look at the potential for converting our highway department to a DPW and creating that internal water district, internal water department. Rory, did you look into the situation with this not having to go out to bid because it is a professional service agreement?
Correct, under 104B of General Municipal Law and our own procurement policy, under section 3, professional services, it does not need to go up to bid.
So we consider this as professional services, not like I question that.
Yeah.
Because you have an attorney, which is a professional, and you have a engineer that is professional, but these people provide a physical service and not, so they bring equipment in and everything, I just wanted to make sure.
No, I understand, I'll
that
tell
we're
you
covered.
what my reasoning was, and then.
Yes, yeah.
I deemed it based on its technical nature, requires licensing, specialized skills, regulatory compliance, and expertise. I feel like it fits into that category pretty comfortably. I understand what you're saying because of
Yeah.
the physical nature of it.
Every
but-
firm will need to do that,
Yeah,
have the same licensing, I just wanna make sure.
yeah, I'm comfortable with it,
You are.
so
It's in the minutes, we're good.
And so you,
And you get the attorney,
you're good with this?
yeah, I mean, there's a lot,
Yeah.
there was probably 6 or 7 meetings on this
3
contract. It was
months to
very-
get, right.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, it was,
So,
I didn't know
I
that.
feel good that we got to where we got
needless to
to. We
say,
chopped
I
off a lot of
have
stuff.
I didn't know
a
that.
detail or
Okay.
two.
Yes,
The limits of liability. Their limit of liability is $1 million. And what I was thinking, and kind of, I've seen it many times in other types of things, is I can understand $1 million, but then usually they have an umbrella policy
Right.
that's over the
Million two.
you know, in case but that's not in here. I think there should be some type of language in there that there's an umbrella policy.
Prior to signing it, why don't we get it off to Gallagher Insurance and let them look at it?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
it was
Yeah.
significantly increased, it was at, I think, 200,000 in the initial draft. And I thought that, obviously I thought that was low, and, I asked for 2 million, it settled on $1 million.
I
But that's
have-
contract, just for the purpose of the contract that we got, originally delivered, the first call, I remember, I think, Joe, you were on this, and it was like, what other municipalities are utilizing this contract?
Yeah,
And it said, it's easier to tell you which municipalities we don't represent, because we have
They
so
cover
many,
all,
and they all have adopted the original draft, so I feel like, not that you sign
No,
up
we
for something, because
don't, yeah,
everybody else signs up for it, but we modified it, and every modification is favorable to the town from the original
George
draft.
has a good point, between the million and 2 million, I mean, I carry $1 million umbrella policy on my home and my cars.
Yeah, let's get it
So
to,
that's nothing, but we probably should talk it to our insurance
so.
broker.
Yeah,
And that's
numbers
a-
are, I mean, I'm hesitant when I'm negotiating as the lawyer to get into numbers of accept insurance. I knew it was low, but I don't negotiate the numbers on behalf of the town.
so, yeah, and that's my
Yeah.
fault. We should have got that off to Matt Ossenfort up at Gallagher. Let's do that.
Even the premium on that would be negligible for them,
Yeah.
really. We
Umbrella
really-
policy.
Yeah.
Send it to Matt? Okay.
Okay, good.
All right, so I won't sign it, let them know that we're just pending approval of the insurance company, and then I'll sign it.
Okay, you got it.
Okay, good.
So I still need a motion, right, authorizing me to sign it, so that when the insurance company comes back, we're good to go?
It's up to you guys.
You could do it conditioned upon the insurance
Okay.
company giving you,
So-
similar to what we just did with the stormwater
Yeah.
with legal.
All right, so could I have a motion to sign the
authorize the
H2O
supervisor.
agreement, authorize and sign the H2O agreement for 2026, with the approval of Gallagher Insurance?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, schedule a Goshen Town Board reorg meeting for Friday, January 2nd, 2026 at 7 PM. That's just to go over all of our organizational stuff. It's a quick meeting.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm supervisor, just know I will not be in attendance on that.
Yeah.
And neither will Melissa.
I will not be here.
Me neither, I won't be here neither.
No one, me neither.
I
That might
think
make
the
4
other-
of us. George is gonna be alone. Well, he's the deputy supervisor.
You know what we really gotta do is we really gotta get somehow get the state to approve like some Zoom access.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
We can do that.
I did do it. I did that once
We
with
can do that, but
Legoland. There was
we're
a
not,
vote.
we're not set up technically to handle.
Yeah, that's
But I did
true.
it with Legoland. I remember I voted. There was a vote, and I remember I did it by Zoom.
Yeah.
I was on a business trip.
All right, so finance, I don't want anybody to get any shell shock on this number here. I'll explain it to you. Discuss and approve a motion to authorize the supervisor to pay accounts payable check
We
run
do
for
minutes.
December.
We'll
I'm
do it
sorry.
after this.
What?
I gave you
They're not on
a new
there.
agenda.
There's no minutes on here.
That's not the agenda I gave you.
That's what you gave me.
No, it is not, Mr.
Okay, well, I
Petro.
don't have any other one, so.
Probably sitting
Your
on-
agenda
probably
looks
sitting on your desk with the other
like
side.
this, Joseph, yeah.
Yeah,
Joseph?
November 25th.
Yeah, can I have a motion, or, let's, where are we? Review and approve the November 25th, 2025 minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so discuss and approve a motion to authorize the supervisor to pay accounts payable check run for December 11th in the amount of $1,005,139.68. $761,000 of that money is retirement. We're paying it early so that we're afforded the discount of about $8,000 if we pay it. So we decided that it was in our best interest to take the money from the fund balance, which is getting 4% interest. We would only lose about a little less than $1,000 in interest, but we pick up over $6,000 in prepayment.
That's good business.
So that's why we did it. So could I have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Discuss and approve a motion to approve, discuss and approve a motion to approve the 2025 year-to-date budget transfer as of December 11th. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Information only, we have an AP review December 11th that Jen supplied us, and it's attached. All right, it's that time, privilege of the floor. Kristen, I thought you were gonna talk tonight.
I said I wasn't gonna talk on the IWS. Good evening, my name's Chris Haley, I'm a resident of the town of Goshen. I said at the last town board meeting, as this board opened the discussion on the proposed new water district, that I would put my comments in writing. And as I got into it, I realized there isn't enough paper to write down the number of questions that I had. As I dug more and more into the plan, I found myself going down the rabbit hole, and who's paying for what and when and what if they don't, and it was just exhausting. And then I think I hit on the reason that I'm having such a hard time nailing down the particulars of the plan, and maybe this might help some of the board members. You don't have a plan, you have an idea. Look, Lego makes thousands of building sets, and they all have one thing in common. They all come with a set of instructions. Until you write down the parts list, the cost, the installation process with a timeline, what you have is an idea, not a plan. Creating a water district takes architects, civil engineers, lawyers, accountants, logistics managers, materials procurement, traffic analysis, and about 10 other things I don't know about, and then you still need the guy with a shovel to dig a trench. Each of these departments needs to know their part. They do this by referencing the written plan. Delaware Engineering made their initial presentation in 2023, and at that time Mike said the map, plan, and report is the legal document by which a town establishes a water district. To date, no such report has been made public, and I understand there's been lots of changes, but we paid for it, right? Now we have a new plan. As a reminder, this board has not voted to establish a district. You voted to pay Delaware Engineering to make a map plan and report. You voted to pay Summers & Summers LLC, the law firm, to further the district. You're spending money from the general fund on a district that does not exist. I will also agree with the other board members that Supervisor Betro has done a tremendous amount of work to forward this plan. I think it's a tremendous undertaking, and credit where it's due, a fantastic job done so far. I understand that the agreement that is made between the town of Goshen and the city of Middletown is non-binding on our side, but binding on their side. I understand why it has to be done, I understand there's no money. I would implore all of the board members, not another vote until the map plan and report is presented to you, so that you know these questions that you've been asking, who pays for what and when. And last time we talked about the engineering of having a water pipe that's too big, not servicing enough, and now we're talking about up to 600,000 gallons for a particular applicant. There are so many questions that will be answered in the report. Mr. Supervisor, you said that the people that sign on after the district is formed are going to pay a premium. I've written a lot of checks in my life. Never once have I written a check for a premium. Premium's not a number. That number
Oh, absolutely.
is
Gotcha.
what we need in the report.
Of course.
And I think that the board members all need to know what those numbers are before they can say yea or nay. Also, pointing out when it comes to numbers, at the last meeting, Mr. Supervisor, you said it'd be about $2 million to drop a line in from Amy's Kitchen down to 6.5 Station Road. And then tonight you said it was 750.
For water,
Ah, so you got 2 pipes going, so you gotta
Correct.
double it.
yes.
By my calculations, it's about 1.3 miles and at 300 linear foot, that's about 2 million. So that's the number. And also you'd said that at some point we'd spent 40,000 on the district, but as of early last year, we've spent 60, plus we have 40 in Summers & Summers. So
We don't have 40 with Summers & Summers.
you voted, this board voted to spend up to $40,000 on Summers & Summers, the law firm, to further, I don't know if you spent all of it.
We haven't spent, I'll get you a number, what we spent.
Sorry.
As of this morning, Jen told me we were a little over $40,000 overall.
And at the meeting, and I will get you the YouTube date and time, we were at 66,000 at the beginning of at the end of 2024.
Who said that? Me?
Yes, we said it here in this meeting. You're gonna have a whole bunch of people that heard it too.
All right, well,
Okay.
I could have been wrong.
Okay. Just as a point to note, yes, we have a 25-year warranty on that pipeline. That warranty kicked off the day it was installed. We're gonna be 10 years down the road. We're gonna have 15 years of warranty, even though we haven't put any pressure on that line. The insurance company, the warranty company, is not gonna pay a dime after that thing runs out, 25 years from date of installation. This is
Gotcha.
picky stuff, but once again, it goes into the map plan and report that I really feel like
So you understand, I don't wanna throw a wrench in your map plan and report, but a map plan and report essentially is all the users that are coming into the district. When we originally started this a year and a half ago, that was everybody along down 17. Well, the map plan and review is that, right there. That's the district, right there. It's right there.
That's the district, and now, and in a traditional water district, the map plan and report would have given you, start to finish, you would see exactly where this thing was going to end. We're talking about buying a sewer treatment plant, the lip-off wells, the wells from Department of Mental Health, BOCES needs a line. There are so many parts to this that, look, I've seen a lot of houses built. I've never seen a builder pour a foundation and say, let's see how this goes. No, there's a plan the whole way. We know exactly what it's gonna look like at the end. But this plan, which is not a plan so far, this is an idea, which may be flushed out, but before these board members, whom we elected, whom are responsible to the taxpayers, to the voters, before you can make an informed decision, please insist on seeing what the end result is. Doing this piecemeal and going along the way, we get stuck halfway through. And all we've got is money in and nothing coming out. To Councilman Lyons' point, so far, the money's come out of the General Fund B with the idea that the town will get that money back once the district's formed. And if the district's never formed, it's just money spent on an idea that went nowhere. I'll finish up by echoing Councilman Lyons' concern about HDH. Because I said about a year ago, I came in, I had the math, and I'm sorry I don't have the names with me today, but there were 4 municipalities that you can find on Google that secular religious builders come into a town, they sue their way right through your zoning and ordinances. It means nothing to those builders. It is part of their building plan. Once you have water and sewer, which is what they need, they will find a way around it. It's a cautionary tale. Please take it to heart.
So I can't tell you that I read 2 of those. I think one was in Westchester County. I do have the notes on my desk. Those districts that were formed had residential in the district. We don't. So there's no suing here. It's not like you can come and say, well, I want you to change your zoning. It's home rule. Our zoning is our zoning. You can't go to any court that's gonna overturn home rule on a zoning plan. Doesn't exist, Chris. Rory, does it exist?
Mr. Supervisor, I'm sure that in town halls just like this, at some point, these conversations were had, and then bingo, they got sued, and at some point, and this happens quite often, the lawyer will eventually tell the town board, look, we're gonna get sued into bankruptcy, make a deal. It happens all the time, once the water and sewer is there. It is a natural barrier to keep that from happening. That said,
So the fear of a potential possible lawsuit that we may not be able to support should stop all work that we do anywhere, on anything.
no, but I'll take empirical evidence to say that it has happened before, and we should learn from other municipalities. And perhaps we should study that a little bit more. Once again, I will ask these board members, all of you, all 5 of you, to please have hard and fast numbers before you take a vote to push forward with spending any more tax money. Once again, fantastic work up to this point, and I do believe every board member up there is really looking for what is best for the town. And I'll agree that these businesses need water and sewer. I also know that a lot of them built in a swamp 50 years ago. It was not a good idea then. I don't know that it's my responsibility to bail them out. But if they're gonna have a water district and bail themselves out, all the better. I know we kicked off the meeting tonight by deferring the moratorium on local law 8 to that end. At some point, I understand it will be a moratorium, and during that moratorium, that the subject matter must be studied. If this town board is looking for volunteers from the residents of the community to do some legwork, I am available, and I look forward to answering the call if called upon. That said, not that it really matters, I'm not going to be here for the next town board meeting, which kills me.
Where are you gonna be? Where are you gonna be?
If I don't get her down the floor.
All right, I'm gonna get you Zoom for the next meeting, just so you can be here. We'll put a picture up on.
I'll get a cardboard cutout, but that said, very happy holidays, thank you all for all the work you do.
Thanks, Chris. Enjoy your vacation.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak? Neil?
Yeah, sure, thank you. Neil Heller. First of all, I want to thank you all for a very robust public conversation or public discussion about projects tonight. It's more than we usually hear, so I very much appreciate hearing your concerns. I have a number of things I want to comment about, and I'll hit the nice and easy ones first. On the question about insurance, for the H2O or whatever, one of the things that we've done in the past is to be listed as additionally insured.
Yeah.
And I think that that's certain, and I don't know if it's in there. If it's not in there, then what I think it does is it really kicks on the first $1 million of any lawsuit comes out of their insurance first and not ours. So if that is not in there, you may want to consider that. The second thing, and it kind of relates to the water district, sewer district a little bit. Right now, in front of the planning board, or being submitted to the planning board, is the subdivision of the psych center. I think you probably have seen it, maybe you haven't seen it. So let's talk about that just really briefly. The psych center is proposing to subdivide their property into 3 different parcels. One parcel will be the new psych center, one parcel will be the old psych center, and the other parcel is the parcel across the road that contains their sewer plant and maybe some of their wells. It also, I think, contains their Union Hall.
My concern here is twofold. One is what that use could possibly be of the old psych center, and I'm not sure whatever that use is now, and however you want to classify that, probably is pre-existing non-conforming. So if you consider that the people are living there now, that may be residential, I don't know what you'd call that. I just want to urge some caution as to what's coming down, or what might come down, or what might be proposed there. I don't know what that is. I know at one point in time, at the time we were considering Amy's Kitchen, we were concerned about a cult moving into there. And I'll use that word, it was considered to be a cult. I don't know if you remember that conversation, but I don't think that is gonna be the issue, but we do have to look at that. And so the other part of that is that with that subdivision, it's certainly the question for the planning board, where's that water and sewer gonna come from that property? Because as of right now, apparently, the state has enough wells and sewer plant to handle 60,000 gallons. If you're doing 40,000 gallons on the new one and 40,000 on the old one, it comes up short. So I don't know what that does.
You realize why they're building new buildings, right? You understand why?
Yeah, I do, but I have not heard, and in all honesty.
So the existing buildings are heavily populated with asbestos.
I'm aware of that.
My understanding, intent is to put a lock on that door and just leave the asbestos behind the door.
And I'm not sure that's not what's gonna happen. It wouldn't surprise me, though I would expect at some point in time, the state or somebody might go there and try to repurpose those buildings. Asbestos is expensive, but it's not something.
They'd have to mitigate the asbestos.
Sure, there's no doubt about it, and it's gonna be a big number. However, some developer somewhere may wanna come in and do that. And in fact, I don't know for a fact, I do know that down in Warwick, when they had the old jail there, or whatever, prison down there,
Yeah.
Warwick took it over, or took control of that to some
Yeah.
degree, and then had a lot more control of what does go into there. I think those buildings might be useful for some things, I don't know. I'm not proposing that we take them over and buy them and start doing the asbestos abatement. But I think we have to consider the fact that something's gonna happen there. Sooner or later, I have a tough time believing the state's gonna walk away from all those buildings without giving somebody the opportunity to buy it for $1, $10, or whatever the number is. I think somebody's gonna ultimately want to talk to the state about taking those over. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the sewer water district. I really agree with you gentlemen that there's no financial feasibility on this at all. There's no idea that this $2 million line or $3 million line down Heritage Trail to Healy and everybody is gonna be feasible for them to do it, and therefore they will hook up or not. I don't know what the numbers are. I'm not trying to pretend I know this is no good. I am trying to say that I think you really need to have that to know whether any of this is viable. This contract with the intermunicipal contract with Middletown does in fact bind you to some degree in the future. You are going to be allowed not to charge certain hookups. You are gonna be, and you are also gonna, you have some expenses, even if you're not paying up front, you're gonna be paying during the operation and maintenance. And that does need to be taken into account. Even when you take about Amy's Kitchen, and you're gonna pay Amy's Kitchen back an X amount of water, whatever, that's a downstream cost. You have to consider that. If they're not gonna pay for the sewer and water later on, the rest of the people in that district or using that district are gonna have to pay for it. So the price is gonna be higher for Healy's or Milmar, or whoever else, because Amy's doesn't have to pay for that, because that's how you're paying for those lines. I can tell you that the reason why we never took over, or never wanted to take over Amy's Kitchen's lines, is because it's 3 miles, 5 miles, whatever the distance is, and some of that's in the town, most of that's in the other towns. When we did not want to take over that infrastructure and be responsible for the maintenance of that infrastructure for a single, or actually it was only 3 users, Science of the Soul, Amy's Kitchen, and Berhay. So that is why we did not want to take it over. We did not want to consider taking it over when it was only going to be for those 3 people, or those 3 entities, I'm sorry. So that's the answer as to why at that point in time it seemed to make sense. I don't know if it makes sense anymore, but that was what happened there. Sometimes in the discussion, they're hearing a discussion here, we bounce all over the place. At one point I hear about anybody who wants to join into this could join into it by paying for it. And we still have not restricted that as to who's allowed to do it, and we just don't know how to, what constitutes residential. I'm back again, once again, Goshen Hospitality is a residential use under the building code. in Golden State Hotel, which is gonna have 2-bedroom units that are supposed to be only for 30 days at a time, whatever, that would be considered residential. I'm not sure how you're gonna restrict residential or not residential, and if you start going over and opening up as far over as BOCES, it's gonna be difficult to say people can't want to extend lines elsewhere. I don't know quite how you're gonna restrict that. I'm not the attorney for this, but I've always been told, and it's always been scary in the past, that it's very difficult to restrict those uses, or anybody's uses to want to hook up within that. I don't know the answer really. You don't know about the sizing of cost, and I'm not sure who's gonna determine the size. If somebody's gonna run a size of a pipe, or a pipe from Amy's Kitchen down to a pump station, number one, we don't know what size pump station needs to be, because we don't know who's gonna ultimately hook up to it. We don't know what size pipes have to go there. And I know that Rick knows as well as I do, better than I do, that right now, we always talk about what the maximum amount is gonna work. There's a minimum amount. What's the minimum amount of hookups we have to have, or amount of water going through to allow that sewer line to work? That sewer line back, you can't do that, run that sewer line on 40,000 gallons a day. Everything is not, it will not make it back to to Middletown. So there is a minimum we have to know, and I don't know how you restrict people. I know we had a problem with Heritage Estates when it came in, as to whether or not we could use that right away, and whether we can run this wells right away in the sewer line. And you have to figure that out too. How many gallons a day do you have to have working already to make that sewer line work? I don't know the number. It may be 100,000 gallons, and maybe you have to be close to the 300,000 gallons a day before that sewer line is really viable. I know that if it stays in there too long, it starts going, I'm gonna say going bad. That's not a technical word. I'm not the engineer for this, but I know we were concerned about that when we considered sewer lines in the town for residential purposes. Yeah. So I think that is a critical thing. So once again, I'm worried about the ongoing cost versus upfront cost. Ongoing cost, you're committing, it has to do with the feasibility of it later on. If we're committing ourselves to not charging for this, that, the other thing for some of the users, then the other people are gonna have to pick it up, and therefore the cost per gallon or whatever may be excessive. I know we had that issue when the village added to their sewer treatment plant. And I know we had a lawsuit with the village at that point in time, because they wanted to charge us for the upgrade on that sewer. And we said, no way, you're charging us for too much. Maybe we're responsible for some, but we're not gonna pay for all of it. And in fact, we prevailed on that. So again, the question with Middletown and capital costs there, and how's that gonna be figured out? So then the next thing that came up tonight, and it was the first time I ever heard that there's a plan to upgrade that 60,000 gallon sewer treatment plant that the state has, and handle up to 1 million gallons a day. Well, I don't quite understand where we go from 60,000 to 1 million gallons, and I sure don't understand why we're gonna get sewer and water from the village, or from Middletown, at 300,000 gallons or 400,000 gallons a day. And we're gonna go up to 1 million gallons here. Something else is happening in the background that I haven't heard of, and I don't know that the town board has heard of. But maybe there's a plan there for something, but you're making this, or you're being asked to make decisions without any kind of plan ahead of time on that, and you haven't done secret to know what the impacts are gonna be. I think you're well into that right now. In fact, it was even said tonight that this is just phase 1 of the plan. Well, phase 1 is part of a plan, and you need to consider the whole plan. You're not supposed to segment seeker, you're not supposed to segment, you should know what the whole thing's gonna be, the whole impact, and go. So again, I'm back to also the timing of the hookups. Obviously it goes back to and the same thing is with water, because we know that at times the jail has had issues with the water from the village of Florida, because it spends too much time in the pipes to get to them. They weren't using enough water for it still to be treated, and they had to retreat sometimes when it was up in, when it got to the jail. The other statement that was kind of strange was, we'll just go somewhere else or something. We don't know, you can't say that we're gonna just go somewhere else if you don't know that we have 300-something gallons, 340,000 gallons a day available. And we don't know that you can tell the people to go somewhere else for sewer unless we have a sewer plant that handles all that. We can't just walk away. It's not that simple to walk away. You need to have a real plan to be able to walk away. And we see what happens with other municipalities where they take on water from the city of New York, and they're supposed to have replacement water, and they don't have it. So ultimately, it's gonna bite somebody in the butt, and ultimately, it's gonna bite us in the butt if Middletown ever does come up with a shortage. I don't know that they will. I'm not worried about Middletown. I never have to worry about Middletown, really. I think that covers most of that. Now, nice and simple. I think ERB, let's talk ERB. So, really fast, the ERB would like to sponsor or support or promote Christmas tree recycling. We have at least 2 locations that are committed to having containers there, just to let people drop off their Christmas trees. It requires nothing from the town, except that we would use our name to promote it, saying that Town of Goshen's Environmental Review Board is promoting this and that. So unless you have a problem with that, I'd like to get your vote or your acknowledgement that, yes, that's okay to do, and the ERB would be part of the promotion. But we do have 2 locations in town to do that. We're gonna possibly have 1 or 2 more.
No problem with us, I don't need to.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you. And next year,
Can you tell them what locations?
Pardon? We'll get that out. I can tell you one location is gonna be Banbury Trust Farm, the other one location is gonna be Mulch Mart. But we are looking at 1 or 2 more, and we'll come up with that, definitely. Probably before the 26th.
Wonderful.
I don't expect too many trees to be dropped off before that. Okay, but we will get that taken care of, and I'll let them, we can possibly, do it on our website also, saying that the ERB is doing it.
Sounds
So
like
I
a
think
plan.
that'd be good, okay?
Great.
And I know somebody brought up about Zoom, and I know that during COVID, we were allowed to do Zoom, and we did. I don't think that's necessarily allowed now, but I think that the ERB would love to do something, and I don't know what it is. I would say it's Zoom, but to allow people to at least send in comments or send in questions during our meetings. I don't want it
We
to
don't
be
have the technical, we'd have to build an actual Zoom room.
Okay,
it's
so-
called, And it's like $25,000.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask for that.
Give them your cell phone and have them text us to be.
No, I'm not giving out my cell phone. However, the other thought I have, and we would like to work it out, but maybe it's just a matter of having a town email site or email address that we could use and have a computer set up here with the emails being sent in, that people could possibly send an email.
I can get you ERB at the Town of Goshen.
Yeah, and I think that may work, and all we have to do is be able to hook that up. So I'd like to do that next year, unless you have a concern about that.
ERB at the Town of Goshen it is. We'll get it done tomorrow.
Thank you very much, we're not ready tomorrow. But we will try to have that ready by January. And I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak?
Need a motion?
Make a motion to close.
Okay, I have a motion to close the town board meeting December 11th.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None.